were 20. I was 25. My partner was 20, I think 6. And very quickly we got an acquisition offer, which we took. It was a cash offer for tens of millions of dollars. And we took it. It was a life-changing event, obviously, for us.
Yeah.
And it was, you asked about the team size. So we were 6. And when this company wanted to acquire us, I was like, it's funny to buy a company with 6 people. So I looked at my partner and said, let's hire some people. So eventually when we saw the company, in less, I don't know, a month and a half after we started the conversation, I already had like 12 people in the team. So we doubled. I brought 2 friends and etc. So it was pretty fun.
If you're an emerging franchise founder, you already know this. The jump from 10 to 100 units is where most brands stall out. Not because the concept isn't strong, but because the founder is drowning in chaos. I'm Guy Coffey, franchisor, franchisee, and growth strategist. I've been where you are, and I know what it takes to build a brand that scales without burning out, selling out, or losing control. That's why I created the Franchise Scale-Up Show. Every week, I'll share the playbooks, the red flags, and the mindset shifts that separate the brands that stall from the ones that scale. So if you're serious about protecting your vision and multiplying your brand, hit subscribe right now. This is the Franchise Scale-Up Show. I'm Guy Coffey. Let's get to work.
Yeah,
Hello,
sure.
and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Scale-Up Show with me, Guy Coffey, and a special guest today, Guy Weiss, coming all the way from Tel Aviv, Israel. And Guy and Guy, it's the first time I've ever had someone on the show that our names look the exact same. So that's a new one for the podcast. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation today to talk to Guy about his journey on where he started and where he's at today with his company called ZenZap. But we're going to start at the beginning. Guy, would you mind just introducing yourself in a quick snapshot, and then we'll dig in from there?
Yeah, for sure. So great to be here. Thank you, Guy. So my name is Guy, 37 years old. I'm married with 2 kids, 2 boys, young boys, in tech all of my life. A few ventures. Some are super successful, some are less successful, as always.
That's a real nutshell. So there's lots to dig in from there. So I'm happy to start with the questions and answers. So Guy, I know where you're at today with your tech company, ZenZap, and we'll talk about that later. But what's of interest to me and probably our audience is, how you got to where you are right now. So it looks like you split time between New York and Israel.
Yeah.
And you started out with your own media company, which looks like it got acquired by another company, which led you to the Maple chapter. So tell us a little bit about those 3 chapters with your Stucco
Yeah, for
media
sure.
to where we got with
I'll
Maple.
So I was 22, had a lot of 23, sorry, with cybersecurity background since the age of 18, and decided to leave this space. I felt like cybersecurity, well, it's a great place to make money, but it feels like an endless chasing game where you chase and you're being chased by others. And I felt like I can do something that might be a little bit more exciting in a sense. And I chose e-commerce. So me and another friend, super, super smart, he's an engineer, Ty, we decided to jump in and start a bootstrap company. Not because we wanted to. We tried to raise capital just because we just couldn't. Maybe the idea was not too strong. Maybe we couldn't present it too well. So fortunately, it became a bootstrap company. And it was 2012, 13 maybe. I was 23 at the time. And we just started rolling. You had this period of Amazon just growth like crazy. E-commerce boomed. I think Walmart back in the days just released the first e-com platform, and it began like a real e-com boom. And within this space, we saw an opportunity to help those companies, large marketplaces, with advertising their what today we call long tail advertising. So they had a bunch of products listed on their inventory, and we're talking back in the days about tens, even hundreds of millions of products, but it's very difficult to promote products that are like unknown. So
Mm.
the iPhones of the world, or the, I don't know, whatever it is, like the known brands, is super easy to promote for them. But 99, 98% of their inventory is it's not popular items. And to do that at scale, it was an issue. So we started slowly to tackle marketing in a programmatic, algorithmical point of view. Both of us are from a tech angle. And we started slowly to build a business around it, working with those brands. Obviously, at the very beginning, nobody at Amazon or eBay even consider talking to us. They never replied our emails or LinkedIn. But we started working with them as affiliates at the beginning, bridging the gap between endless inventory of Google and the demand. People are searching for keywords and searching for products, and this endless inventory of products that those companies have. And after 2.5 years, we became one of the biggest traffic providers for Amazon, eBay, and lots of other brands globally, mostly in the US. Super profitable business. We were a very slim team.
How
We were
slim?
six.
Six.
Six, yeah,
Global
and
business
then,
with
yeah, and we created billions in revenues for those companies and tens of millions in revenues for our company, and also in profits. And it was fairly quickly turning from zero to hero, I would say. And yeah, we were super young. We never realized what money is. We were 20. I was 25. My partner was 20, I think 6. And very quickly we got an acquisition offer, which we took. It was a cash offer for tens of millions of dollars, and we took it. It was a life-changing event, obviously, for us.
yeah.
And it was, you asked about the team size. So we were 6, and when this company wanted to acquire us, I was like, it's funny to buy a company with 6 people. So I looked at my partner and said, let's hire some people. So eventually, when we saw the company, in less, I don't know, a a month and a half after we started the conversation, I already had like 12 people in the team. So we doubled. I brought 2 friends and etc. So it was
I'm
pretty fun these days.
I'm guessing those were friends and family that were very grateful.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
good friends. And yeah, that was it. We The company been acquired by a company operated from London, and we had a tech team in Israel, and I moved to be most of my time spent in London, and we've helped this group to build a media group through M&As. So since the age of 25 to 28, I was spending my time buying companies, so negotiating, finding the deals, giving our team the insights of how we want to build, how we want to grow, what type of businesses we want to buy, what spaces we want to go into, and what markets we want to chase, and and kind of like architecting this growth not through organic growth but through M&A, and that was pretty successful, pretty interesting. So think about like a private PE in a
Yeah.
very limited space, so media and e-commerce. Starting from I don't know, a group of 50 people, ended up being few hundreds of people with
That's
hundreds of millions in
interesting.
revenue. Yeah, yeah, and that was great. That was an amazing experience. I didn't have any relationship with business or M&A or legal information that I never had, or financial view, and I kind of like learned it through from people I've worked with. Sitting with Ernst and Young and those big
Yeah.
guys, and he just kind of like grinded it out and fake it until you make it. But it was great, and it was very successful. Thank God. But yeah, so that was it. Since then, I was most of the time. I came back, spent some time here with the family. I met my wife today, my wife, then my girlfriend during this long period.
When you came back to Tel Aviv from London?
No, so actually, she was working for El Al, which is a Israeli airline company, and I
Mhm.
flew from Hong Kong to Tel Aviv, or the other way around. And she was a flight attendant, and we met on the plane. Yeah, so yeah, that's how we met, and we obviously stayed together up until today. yeah, and then just came back home, kind of like relaxed after working. It was around 10 years of very intense work, bootstrapping, and I know you have an audience of founders and bootstrappers. It's the loneliest, hardest, most just awful thing to do. Most of the
especially
people,
voluntarily.
yeah, no, most of the people would just won't understand that. And for everyone who's listening, I know your pain. It's stressful, but that was a period of time where I just said to myself, you have to take some time off. So I
Mm,
took a year off, which was great. I was just playing guitar and mm, just strolling around with friends and just chilling. Had such an amazing year, and then it felt so good. So that I thought to myself, well, let's take another year.
okay.
And then the year after, the following year, was even better than the first year. So I took another year off. So I eventually ended up taking 5 years or 3.5, 4 years. We're not really, working. We had COVID in the middle, so it was kind of like also an excuse.
Sure.
But just doing investments in startups. The Tel Aviv ecosystem, the Israel ecosystem is amazing with startups. So much innovation. I had so many friends, so it was a great chance for me to kind of like apply whatever I've learned at the M&A side and kind of like use it. So few ventures that
Were
got
you were you angel investing basically?
yeah. So since then I'm investing in few companies every year, trying
Hmm.
to follow this rule. I would say that angel investing is not a day job. If people think or see angels and they say it's a day job, I don't think it's a day job. I think it's a side hustle.
Okay.
And when you work and you have this ecosystem, you get an opportunity to join great founders or great ventures as an investor. But it's either you are a professional investor that works for a VC or, early stage or whatever it is, or you have your own thing and you join when being invited.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't. I never. I saw one very successful guy who started as an angel investor but turned to be a VC. So
Okay.
being an angel investor for a long time, I don't think it's a real day job. But yeah, that's
Interesting.
about it. Yeah, and then and then we moved into ZenZap. So that was like years of being involved in few companies and as a non-operative, C-level or a founder, turned into now a full-on startup yet again.
All right. So were you an angel investor originally in ZenZap and then became
No, no.
as a
So,
principal?
so the so the story about ZenZap is, as I told you, I didn't see myself like it came to a point where I didn't see myself doing this thing for a long time, and this thing I mean being an angel investor or being an investor. I was doing public markets, managing capital, my own capital. And it started to kind of like being a bit of feeling a sense of loneliness or
Mm,
not fulfilling what I'm good at. Because I believe I'm my skills are with people, with sitting down with team, working on things and not sitting at, you know, in front of a computer and researching stocks or
right.
hoping you get the a great angel investment. So I started working on few ideas I had, and those they call it ideation. The ideation part is something that takes so much time
Mm,
and lots of efforts. And I decided I'm going to take the time to find a great idea. During that period of time, friends that used to work with me and good friends kind of like stepped out from their existing jobs, and we decided to work together. And then I met through a lawyer, an investor called Adam Fisher. He's a general partner at Bessemer Venture Partners.
okay.
He's a rock star, basically, in the VC world, especially in
Hmm.
seed investments. He's responsible for very known companies, Wix and Fiverr and Mail, like known names.
Okay. Yeah.
And we started to work and collaborate together. And it ended up with, hey, we see there's a gap in the market. We see there's an opportunity. We see there's nothing. We see a huge challenge, tech challenge. We see a product challenge. We see a go-to-market challenge. Let's take this ride and let's start a company around what today is ZenZap. So it kind of like evolved into that, and not just, I want to start a company. I have an idea. It took a long time to curate the right path and the trajectory we wanted to follow. I don't know if you saw Succession. They have a great
Yeah.
quote there. I don't know. I
Yeah.
remember. I forgot his name, but they say, "Success is easy. It's only analysis, capital, and execution." And
Okay.
and the analysis
Sounds like a
part is
Kendall
something.
quote.
Yeah, maybe, but the analysis part took just a long time. So here we are. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really, and just so everybody knows, we've mentioned ZenZap a couple times. Just in a nutshell, could you describe what ZenZap is? And then I want to go back to I'm really interested in hearing about the ideation of that, and
Yeah, for
then
sure, for sure.
creating the team. But tell the audience,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you're going to
I'll
say
tell you.
it better than anybody else.
So, if I may, I'll just tell you what's the ideation part, and then we'll get up of how we got into ZenZap. I'll leave the audience a little
Deal.
bit more with some questions. So we were sitting, and we had this view of, I work in tech for I don't know, many years, and tech people have their own tools. So they use Slack for team communication and to connect with cloud and get notifications and data streaming from the cloud to the team to kind of like react on things that happens. They have project management tools, which became popular at the non-tech scene with companies like Monday or Asana, but they have Jira and today Linear. So they have their own stack of technologies they're using to basically collaborate, cooperate, and move. And when you look around on other industries, and let's just categorize them as non-tech businesses. So real businesses, operative businesses. So you can take gyms. We were talking about gyms earlier. Uh, Franchisees, construction companies, hospitals, clinics, like manufacturing companies, like anywhere, e-commerce, transportation, anywhere you look, these industries don't have a team communication tool built for them. So they default to run their business on personal messaging apps. So it's either WhatsApp or iMessage, text messages, or that's basically it. With Gen Z's
Yeah.
is Snapchat, restaurants, hotels. And that was interesting for us, the phenomena. And post-COVID, this phenomena became really, really, really strong because people felt like they need to be more connected, more instant. But on the other hand, they are not in the same room all the time. So they're not physically together. And you see work communication kind of like the line between personal and work kind of like blurred. And everything went to personal messaging apps for work. And I guess you're nodding with your head. I guess you
Yeah.
feel it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. For
And,
sure.
and, and and that phenomena was interesting because you say, well, Slack is there, or I don't know, Microsoft Teams is there. Why wouldn't they use it? And the thesis was, these tools are built for cloud people at the cloud area, for cloud users, for developers, by developers, for developers. And they're not built for mobile users, deskless, simple, I would say, smart but simple, non-tech savvy people. And they don't work as good as you would expect. And it's the lowest common denominator is not low enough for organizations to adopt it. So you have a cleaner and you have the CEO, and they're basically in the same tech level. In the middle, you have lots of smart people that are maybe with a little bit more high technical abilities. So we said, we need to create a tool that can combine, that can, on one hand, brings the simplicity and accessibility for those industries, so anyone can use it. and it works amazing on mobile. And nobody could claim that I didn't get the notification, it didn't work. When I open it, it's lagging, it's scrappy, whatever it is. I don't understand how to use it. But on the other hand, you get two other layers that are super important for a business. And these are control, compliance, security, and guardrails layer. So you can control, you can governance the communications. And the next layer is connectivity and productivity. So it's not enough to have the team on a group chat. You want it also to be secure and connected to the tools you're using. So if you are running, I don't know, your show is running 5 restaurants, you would want to have the shift management connected to the group chats. So things can be done very easily. So if you are an e-commerce business, you would want to be notified when you get a bad review on the site, and you want Jake to answer and reply quickly. So it's about connectivity, productivity, laying on top of security and compliance and control. But the basics is as an interface and a place where anyone can use it. So it's super accessible. So it's like an iPhone. Even a child can use it. So that was the thesis. And basically, I just described ZenZap. So, and by the way, the name ZenZap comes from trying to kind of like compete with an enemy, which is chaos and no ability to get things done. And like without intentions, what you have in group chats, messy group chats, everything get lost and people go away from work and still being present in the group chat. So Zen and Zap is like the perfect combination, intention between calm and get things done, zappy. So you want to get things done quickly. So that's where the Zen Zap comes from. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So that's the story, and that's the ideation, and that's ZenZap. So
right. So it's a team communication tool and then some, right?
Yeah.
Especially with your integration of like the agents, the OpenClaw agents and things like that, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. AI. So when we've built it, we've kind of like, so when we talk about ZenZap, and I'm trying to keep it very simple, stupid, but you wanna have an agentic work chat. You don't want to have a work chat. You want to have an agentic work chat. And when I say agentic work chat, it might sound a little bit frightening or a little bit poshy, but when you think about it, what's agentic and how work chat could be agentic, you can think about Chat GPT over your entire group chat. So you can ask any question on a free language. I don't know, what's the code for the alarm that everyone gets to in front of the door and wants to find it out. You want to see agents collaborating with your team as humans. For example, we're going to release very soon a shift management agent. So think about a group chat today. We have restaurants or hotels, even medical teams with hundreds of people in group chats. And then, I don't know, I want to change shift. I would just ping. Think about it. It's 200 notifications running around because I want to change shift. Who can switch with me? So think about an agent who can just take over, and then the manager needs to reply. Nobody answers and nobody cares. So think about an agent who could live there. Think about it like an open close style, always on 24/7 agent who can say, hey, I can help you with that. Let me just figure it out. And he does the thing. Or an agent that works with you on marketing with your team. Like today we experience AI in a single player mode. We always chat with ChatGPT. But with ZenZap, you have group chats that one of the participants is the AI. So it's the first time you have a multiplayer conversation with AI. It could be Claude, it could be OpenAI, it could be your own agent that you've created, and he is trained perfectly for your medical team, knowing your patients. but he's a part of the MD's conversation about this specific patient. So
Wow.
AI changed
Wow.
it changes how work chat will be, and teams that won't adapt will stay behind. You can't
Mm,
scale the chaos, and chaos never scale. So
right.
it's not just about chaos, it's about AI is making things smoother, faster, better. It's the
Yeah.
it's this.
Does the agentic group chat, which is a very brand new term for me. So I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Man, does that would so say someone you have a shift manager and you have, you have an agentic group chat and you're like, hey, and someone in that chat, this might be a really basic example. And if it's but it's we can iterate from there. But say someone's supposed to work on Saturday and something comes up. And usually it would be a group chat and, Bob who needs Saturday off would be like, "Hey, can someone take my shift?" So, 100 people are getting that message on the group chat and, a lot of them are already working on Saturday morning when Bob is looking for something. So that agentic work, that agent would step in and be like, yeah, Bob needs Saturday off. Well, these 40 people are already working Saturday, so we're not going to ask them, but it might say like, hey,
Spot
these are
on. Spot on.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So these capabilities and much more. This is like the simplest, most, I would say, sorry, stupid. Not stupid in the way that it's not important, but stupid in the way that it's super simple, stupid basics of how work chat can become agentic and work for you. To infuse clarity, to infuse productivity, to infuse the jobs that you need to get done, and you use chats or group chats to get those done today, AI can help you, can support you. Think
Mhm.
about, by the way, even if it's not agentic, we had a conversation with, I won't mention the name, but it's a very big restaurant chains in the US, thousands of people. And we had a conversation. I had a conversation with one of the leaders, and he said that they're using ZenZap, and he said that it's not about the productivity that made the change, and I was surprised. It's about the company culture that changed, and
Really?
because the issue with 24/7 businesses, franchise business, it's you can control. It's you always delegate. So think about issues of delivering a message top to bottom in a franchise business is
Hmm.
impossible. It's impossible because you have the headquarters or the brand, and then you have all those operators, and they're not connected. There's no franchise network. You can deliver a message from the CEO, say, "Hey guys, think about CEO of McDonald's. Have a great holiday, or great for working hard this holiday, because it's
Hmm.
24/7 business. People come and go. It's a 24/7 business, and people are get harassed by notifications, endless notifications when they're off shifts. Although it's a
Hmm.
working time for the business, right? But they're a part of a group chat in an app that belongs to them, not to the company. So they can put it on silent on what we have is like a working hours stuff. So so it changes the culture and it reduces the burnout of employees. So you have a less
Yeah.
turnover of employees. So it's not just being agentic, which promotes you and gets you better in what you do. It always changes the culture of the business and makes you more resilient and can be a better business if you get
Yeah.
communications in place. So things never fall. We had a story of one location using an old menu, an old recipe, because they didn't get the message of a new recipe coming out because of better communication, and that's stupidity. You have
Yeah.
a group chat of all the chefs or all the cooks, and you can just deliver a message. So
Right.
it's a mix of both.
Yeah. So I'm going to go a little bit higher altitude here. You have lived a life where you're on from when you were in your early 20s. You had that successful exit with you and a handful of friends. And congratulations, that's an amazing story.
Thank you.
And then you turned off for a while. Like you took a year off. You're like, oh, I can actually do this. You hear about people thinking like
Yeah.
they're going to get bored real quick or something like that. And then that same theme in the communications on team communications, intra-organizational communications, where in my small businesses, I just text people. I've used Slack. I've used all those other things. If I have an idea, I want to get it out there. I don't want to try to wait until 8 o'clock the next morning when
Oh,
someone's in the office. And and some people are like, yeah, I get that. Especially entrepreneurs, like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I can look at something and not be bothered. But some people are like, you sent me that at Saturday on 1 o'clock. I'm with my family, and I don't really
yeah.
do it that on Saturdays,
Yeah.
but or whatever.
Should I answer? Should I
Yeah, go
answer?
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
No. I mean like,
yeah, yeah.
no. When you get a message, you feel like, should I answer now to my boss? Should I respond? Is it okay
Right.
to just ignore him because I'm in dinner with friends or family? So I totally.
Yeah,
It's really,
yeah. And so you can schedule things. And what you're talking about is it's not just that one message. It's just like when I'm gone from work as an employee, when I'm gone from work, I don't want to think about work. I don't even like I'll prepare well. I'll be there the next morning or whatever the case may be. But I don't want it interrupting my personal life. Right. So I'm sure that's one of the basic advantages of
basics.
using
Yeah.
intra-organizational communication tool, and then you layer on this agentic,
Yeah.
conversation.
You know that people ask me, well, the easiest way to think about it, because this concept is not familiar for lots of businesses, this purposely built tool for work communications. But
Mhm.
we all know email.
Yeah.
So think about every person in the world would, for any workplace he would go to, would use his personal Gmail. So think about a lawyer going into a law firm or a manager in a hotel would use his personal Gmail for any work communications he will do from now to the next 5 years. And then one day he
Mhm.
leaves with all the data, and think about all the time being spent in those 5 years. And think about email is the app he uses 10, 15 times a day. Any
Mhm.
notification he gets in, he opens the thing. That's where he communicates with his wife and family.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent in what we experience today with chats and with
Yeah.
work chats specifically. So
Yeah.
anyone who is not using a purposely built tool is basically is the equivalent of using a personal Gmail, and that creates, the issues
Yeah.
of logging into and say, I always say when you are in a party and you want to check your work emails because you're bored for a second, you have the ability to control when you opt in and when you opt out.
Right.
And I think that's what you're trying to said earlier. Opting and opt out, it needs to be a choice, and not you
Mhm.
don't need to be forced to be always opt in.
Yeah. And that's that more work-life balance that you were talking
Yeah,
about in terms of culture.
exactly.
Like, I don't feel like they're always on me. All right, I'm gonna totally switch gears on you. I know you've been playing guitar for a long time. I wanna know, what's your favorite style of music, and have you ever performed in front of a crowd?
Well, yeah, when I was young,
Yeah?
but I'm not in favor of being in front of crowd, but I
Okay.
did.
Alright.
Some friends, and bands. My favorite style probably blues and gypsy jazz.
Ah, okay.
Probably. Obviously, there's rock 70s, Jimmy, Beatles. That's like
Yeah.
the favorite, but super, super, super broad. I can listen. I think everyone says that about themselves. When you open your, I don't know, Spotify liked songs, you can hear, I don't know, a techno song, and then a jazz song, and then I don't know,
Yeah.
Mozart, and then Beatles, and then
Nat King
so
Cole. You
Oasis.
know?
Yeah, Nat King Cole, one of my favorites, Nat King Cole. So yeah, I love music. So I think that it's like food. You can have burger and you can have an omelet, right?
Yeah. Right.
And both of them
Yeah.
are great. Both of them
Right.
can be done good or bad. Let's say that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you appreciate a good omelet, and you will appreciate a good burger. So
right. And that's kind of like music. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes
And
sense. I was
what are
riding in
yours?
wait, how old are your kids? How old are your boys?
So it's almost babies. It's 1.5 and 3.5.
Oh my
Two
gosh.
boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. I
yeah.
have I have the adventure is just beginning. Guy, it's so awesome.
Yeah. I just came back sleeping like a few months ago. I didn't sleep
Yeah,
for like a year.
yeah, right.
Well, you
I
said
have
you play, right? What do you play?
oh, I am a new guitar player, so
All
everything
right.
is new, and it's purposely so that it's for my enjoyment, and I'm not trying to be perfect at it. Like I try to do other things, and I want to be really really good at it as fast as possible. This is my escape to just focus on something else for a few minutes every day and things like that. But I had a guest on the show he's a fantastic person, but he's a real character. And so he's also a musician. He taught him he learned how to play piano in the last like 2 or 3 years. And he performed in 3 bars last summer. And
Oh
and
my
so
God.
when he saw a guitar or something, he's like, "Oh, do you play?" And I'm like, "Well, I just started and, I'm taking lessons." He's like, "So when are you gonna perform for people?" And I was like, "Uh, I'm trying to learn the G chord right now. Like, I am not ready to perform." And he's like, "Well, why do you practice? Just to practice better? Like, you should really perform even if it's for your friends, and your family up at your cabin. Like, learn some songs and do it. It'll be a lot more fun." And I was like, "I'm gonna do that." And so I've been working on that I
You
have to work
should. You
on songs
should.
for a long time. But
You should.
I just thought that line was really good. Like, why do you practice? Just to practice better next time? Like, there's got to be an end result here, right? So,
Well,
uh,
well, I never thought about it. Well, I perform to my kids because they're there.
yeah, see, that is a
Yeah.
performance.
I have the best audience. They always love me
Yeah, that's the best. It's
until
like
they have
Jimmy
a girlfriend.
Page. Yeah, for sure. Right, right. I was riding with my son yesterday. We were doing some errands, and he was playing his playlist, and he was all over the board from Nat King Cole to Led Zeppelin to like
Oh wow,
gangster rap. And I'm like, "Is this your normal, like, how you go about your day?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't like to listen to the same thing all day." I was like, "Cool." So
that's fun. I wish my kids were gonna have good taste with music.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure
I
they
train
will.
them for. So I hope it goes well.
I did have
Yeah,
one more question on just
yeah,
your original company was Stucco Media, and
yeah.
what's the name for that? And now we know
Oh,
ZenZap, but what was Stucco?
oh yeah. So Stucco Media. So eventually, Stucco, what we did is we bridged the gap between e-commerce and advertising on, let's say, I don't know, Google's or whatever advertising space you had. And combining those two is hard because they
Mm,
don't speak the same language. It's not the e-commerce is one language and advertising is a different language. And you wanted to do that, and we wanted to combine those two. And I thought the name Stacom Media was a great way to emphasize that if you go with us, e-commerce and media becomes one,
mm,
synchronized and super non-fragmented texture, like solid texture together. So
okay.
you collide both of the worlds into one place. So Stacco is like a glue, or
Yeah.
so Stacco Media was the glue between e-commerce and advertising. So that was how
Wow.
the name came from. Yeah. I'm a bit
Interesting.
poetic with names. Yeah, I'm a bit poetic with names. So
I like it. Well, Guy, this has been really, really interesting. Congratulations on all your success. I'm super
thank you,
excited
thank
for
you,
for
thank you,
ZenZap to change the world and improves people's lives.
thank you, thank you.
That wraps up today's episode of the Franchise Scale Up Show. If this gave you a strategy you can put into play, please share it with one founder who needs the help. You might save them months of pain. If you're ready to go deeper, whether it's building your support infrastructure, accelerating territory sales, or preparing for private equity, go to guycoffey.com. That's GUYCOFFEY, and book a free franchise growth strategy call. I only partner with founders who are committed to scaling without losing control. If that's you, I'd love to connect. Until next time, protect your vision, move fast, and scale smart. I'm Guy Coffey. Talk soon.